My Little Pony and Friends.
On the way to the Pink Pony of Dreams house, the ponies met a lot of creatures who lived in Ponyland, who joined their group and decided to leave Ponyland with them. Everybody they met agreed with them. Soon they arrived at the Pink Pony of Dreams house. Majesty explained the pony's problem, and the Pink Pony of Dreams listened, getting more interested as Majesty went on. "But where can we go?" finished Majesty. "I don't think that's a problem," said the Pink Pony of Dreams. And she began to sing. Have you ever seen the black pony, making ponies' lives a misery? There's no hope for us, we should go to the home for abandoned ponies. I think she'll buy a ribbon, a brush and a comb. I've heard a tale that there are 3 ponies Desiree would die for. I know she'd give a home for all if you could find the present that is small. There's only one problem, I don't know who they are. Truly bridesmaid or magic star. But there is still hope. Look through my microscope. There's a gin. There's a guinea. There's a guinea. There's a guinea pig. He shall help us. The ponies took it in turns to look through the microscope that was looking down on Earth. And sure enough, there was a little brown and white guinea pig racing down the streets. 2 other figures behind him, one of which was pulling a cart. Suddenly, a noise could be heard. I've given you a chance, you MLPs, but now you are going to see me. I'm giving you just one more day to get away. But I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be there at 8. Not 8 in the morning, but in the evening, quite late. And then the noise stopped. So, he's giving us one more day to get away. But, said the voice, you don't have to get away from Ponyland. I'm being kind to you. You've just got to get away from here. But I might chase the pony who's blue. The animals kept running. It got dark. They kept running. Morning came. They kept running. They didn't know where they were going, but they knew with their short legs they would have to run for a long time to get anywhere. I know I've seen that tree before, said Bubbles. I think we're running round in circles. Don't be ridiculous, said Diesel. A lot of trees look the same. But let's run in the other direction. And perhaps... But then a car whizzed by. We can't go over there. One of those horrible things will knock us down. It's our only chance, said Clover. Yes! Our only chance is if we cross that road. But there might be something on the other side. Don't you realise that, Bubbles? The sticking set said together. Yes, but perhaps we'll never see it if we get knocked down. Don't be ridiculous. I'm going. If you don't want to follow, then you can just stay here. And the guinea pig walked across the road, just as a car came round the corner. We're not getting anywhere, Buttons said crossly. We've got to get away from here, said Majesty. That's what the Black Pony of Darkness said. Well, I don't think we'll be going any further, said Melody, who was leading the ponies. Why? Asked Majesty. Because we can't cross this water. And the ponies saw what she meant. Trying to peer round Melody, they all saw the deep water. The only way out of Ponyland was if they crossed that. Desiree still had a hope that the animals would return. She still watched out the window, but nothing happened. They weren't coming back. They had obviously set off on a mission. Luckily, Desiree didn't know how dangerous that mission would be.
Oh, we've got to cross it, said Milky Way, looking up at all the water that was pouring towards them. Where's it all coming from? Said Peachy. I think I can hear something running. Said another pony. Who's offering to go and have a look? Said Majesty. All the ponies stepped back, except for two. The two ponies who had stopped the ponies from playing bouncer catch. We'll go, they said. There only needs to be one of you. So Truly stayed behind. It was a long journey up to where the water was coming from, and none of the ponies really wanted to do it, especially as they hadn't brought anything for their feet.
But one of the ponies had to do it. The pony soon reached where the water was coming from. A tap that hadn't been there before. The black pony had obviously put it there. And that was only his first of many tricks. The animals went into a small shed at the bottom of the garden. That was where they were going to spend the night. There was no lettuce and grass growing there this time. There was nothing. Except a pile of bricks in the corner. What were they? Bubbles went over and sniffed around. They look safe,
he said.
perhaps we could go in them.
It was true. The bricks made a kind of den, and the 2 guinea pigs and the rabbit, and of course the cart full of insects, would probably just about fit inside. So they climbed inside and went to sleep. The pink pony of Blooms soon caught the ponies up. After packing her bag, she had followed them. But the ponies had still not reached the edge of Ponyland. Luckily, the black pony hadn't hurt them yet. As I say, yet.
We will have to stop tonight. I don't think I can walk much longer,
said Posy.
We can't
Stop, said Majesty. Not until we're out of Ponyland at least. And then we'll be on Earth, said Buttons. And what good is that? Then some person will see us. And then what trouble will we get into then? I don't know what trouble we'll get into, said Majesty, but I know we'll have to stop. When we get to Earth, the black pony can't get us there. He can get me wherever I go. The ponies all turned round. Actually, he can get both of us. But he doesn't want any of you. Just us. And the black pony always gets what he wants. And the ponies cried together. The animals ran. The pile of bricks, as they thought, because of their reddy orange colour, turned out to be a fox. The fox was now chasing them, and there was no way of outrunning it.
Diesel, it's no use. You go over there, I'll tempt it over here. And you go over there, Clover.
The animals split up, and sure enough the fox chased Bubbles. By this time the guinea pigs were on Horsenden Hill, and Bubbles reached a goalpost. He ran underneath the goalpost, but the fox couldn't get under. The fox ran straight into the net, and Bubbles ran on. But now Diesel and Clover were gone. And where? In a big field like this, there was no chance of finding them. Especially if by now the animals were no longer in the field, so they must be in the trees surrounding it. Starlight looked around. Today she was the pony leading the other ponies out of Ponyland. Still the pony hadn't shown up, but now they were in a part of Ponyland they didn't recognise.
I'm sure this was never here before,
said Posy.
Perhaps it's a trap,
said Shady. Trilly and Lancer opened their mouths to say something, but before either of them could say anything, they noticed what was just in front of them. It's a note, said Starlight. Then go and pick it up, said Buttons. Starlight went over. It said, "This note is from the black pony. And any other notes you may find are also from the Black Pony of Darkness. This one said, "Go over the tightrope, right to the grass. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, so you don't have to go fast." Sure enough, there was a big crack in the ground. On the other side was grass. "Well, that's the way out of Ponyland," said Majesty. "But how do we get across?" asked North Star. "We go across the tightrope, of course. You can fly over if you like, and the unicorns can wink over. But I think I'd better go over and lead the other Earth ponies. We could carry the babies," a Pegasus pony said. "I hadn't thought about that. And you could also carry the pets. You could keep coming back." "I don't want to go with a Pegasus," said Daisarella. "I want to go with Truly." "Well then, you can discuss that with your owner, and so can the rest of the pets, but the babies have got to be carried across." The Pegasus ponies started to carry the babies slowly across. "Who's going first? Over this tightrope, I mean," said Buttons. "I know it's not going to be me," said Starlight. "Well, you're the one leading today," said Majesty. "I'm not going first, Majesty," said Starlight. "You can go first." "Me? I'm not going first. It should be you." "But I'm not going first." "Isn't there anybody else who can go first?" "If Starlight won't go first, then somebody else will have to become the leader." Nobody even looked at Majesty, for they were far too busy looking at what was happening on the other side. Bubbles suddenly wished that he'd never left Desiree's house. He looked up and saw Desiree. David and Jackie were behind her, and David was carrying some secateurs in one hand and a big bag full of green leaves in the other one. Bubbles ran towards them as quickly as he could. He got up to them just as they walked away. But then he saw someone else running after him, so he raced into a bush, waiting for them to run by. But just his luck, they were looking for a football in that very bush. If he was seen, they'd think he was a rat, and they might kill him. He ran after Desiree, making sure that he was always hidden in the bushes. But then Desiree walked away from the bushes. He would either have to stay in the bushes, out of everybody's sight, including Desiree, or come out of the bushes and be thought of as a rat. "I'll have to stay in here,"
So now, even I can't get back home. Anyway, he thought, sadly, it wouldn't be fair to go home without Diesel and Clover. It was my idea to come. Diesel, he called. Clover. But nobody came. He sat there, alone in the bushes, and began to sing a song that he'd heard Desiree sing many times when he
Lanceriffic like I am. No one has the luck I do. No one's lost their friends like I have. Look where life has led me to. Nothing I can see can help me. And with all that I've come through, I wish this was a dream so I could wake up. But what good will wishing do?
Oh, come on, Bubbles, he heard a voice in his head. Soapy.
Make a real wish. They're all guinea pigs with the luck that you have. I know it. I'm one myself. My own is about to cross a tightrope. And if we fall... Anyway, that's nothing to do with you. As I say, make a real wish. But how can I, Soapy? Everything looks so hopeless now. Nothing I can see can help me. Somebody will save you. I wish there was a hut for me to sleep in. What good will wishing do? It might make your dreams come true. There you go, Bubbles. Somebody said that, didn't they? And to me, it sounded like it was your friend Diesel Bell.
And then Soapy was gone, leaving just Bubbles, Diesel Bell and Clover, who had met again in the bushes. The ponies had no problem crossing the tightrope, which was good, because underneath the tightrope was a long brick tunnel, and if anyone had fallen on that, I doubt if they would have survived it. On the other side, several of the ponies had decided to have a rest, and the others had agreed to stop for a while. But soon, most of the ponies had gone to sleep. Only about 10 ponies were still awake, and gradually they dozed off, leaving, yet again, just Truly and Lancer to look out and make sure the black pony didn't get them. Because who said that he didn't really still want Truly? And he definitely said he wanted a blue pony. Suddenly, some black birds flew over, and when they left the sky, it was dark. They had made it dark. All the ponies were soon asleep, including the two who had decided that they were going to watch out for the black pony of darkness. Just as well, because they'd need plenty of rest for what was to come next. The animals slept in the bush where they had met. Soon though they woke up
It was a cold December night, and they looked fearfully at each other.
What are we going to do?
Asked Diesel.
We never should have left Desiree. Now we'll freeze to death.
No, we won't, said Bubbles.
I'm the one who brought us out here, and I'm going to save us. We're going to save the My Little Ponies, and also we're going to fulfill our ambitions. What did you say you wanted to do again, Diesel? I'm going to find a supermarket in the vegetable aisle, I said, looking about for water and greens.
The guinea pig sang.
Then that's exactly where we're going to go. To a supermarket. Where is there one?
Said Clover. I've often watched them going out, but I've never really seen exactly where they go.
Well, there's lots of supermarkets. I'm sure we'll find one somewhere.
He looked around.
But not in a field. What do you want to do, Clover?
I'm going to race with a champion and be first at the end.
What did you say you wanted to do, Stickies? I've forgotten what you wanted to do as well.
Where brambles grow, and eat a piece that's bigger than you, from the tip of your nose to the tip of your toe.
Well, I think we can fill your wish here,
said Bubbles, looking around. There's lots of brambles.
That's a point,
said Diesel.
Why were the older family collecting leaves, bramble leaves, when the stick insects have left home?
They're always hopeful, said Clover. Always will be. Let's get on. So the animals started to run across the field. In the distance they saw houses, and they decided that's where they were going to head for. The ponies woke up. They looked around. Which pony was going to lead the other ponies today? After a quick discussion, Sweetheart was chosen. Oh great, said Buttons. We won't be getting anywhere then. Don't say that, said Majesty. Perhaps I should have chosen you. Then we could have seen exactly where you got us. Buttons went quiet. The ponies walked on. After a short while, I'd say about a minute and a half, they found another tightrope. This time it was over water. The ponies looked down. The last tightrope, as they called it, had been thicker than this, and in fact made of a piece of wood. This was still made of a piece of wood, but this time it was as thin as a rope.
Do I go first?
Asked Sweetheart. If you will, said Majesty. But make sure you don't fall in. The ponies slowly made their way across. Truly went second to last. About halfway across, she slipped on a wet patch in the middle. of the wood. She managed to cling on, but would drop any minute if somebody didn't come and help her. Majesty started to make her way back across, and somebody shouted that it would be better if Majesty left her, since she was no use. Deezerella, who had been walking behind Truly, grabbed onto her with her teeth, trying to keep her owner on the wood, but in fact making Truly take her hoof off of the wood.
Get out of the way, Deezerella,
said Soapy, who had been behind with his owner. Deezerella walked away, and Soapy went over. Soapy stood by Truly and told her to cling on to him. He then started to walk away, gradually pulling her up, but he wasn't strong enough.
let me grab onto you, Deezerella,
he said. Then Deezerella grabbed onto Majesty's tail, and the pony and the two guinea pigs pulled Truly back up onto the wood. Soapy ran back to Lancer, the last pony on the trail. The ponies made their way forward. Then they came to a woods. The Black Pony's Woods, the sign said. As the ponies entered, they heard the now familiar sound. He who enters shall not come out again. You'll slip and slide on wooden tires as down pours the rain. Ponies listened to this carefully and then walked on. The first thing they saw was a tyre. It was the only way further into the woods.
we'll have to go into it,
said Sweetheart.
But I don't want to lead the ponies anymore.
I said that she wouldn't get us anywhere, said Buttons, but I didn't think she'd admit it. Well, you're not going to be chosen, Majesty said. You don't deserve to be chosen. I think I'll choose... She looked around. A lot of the ponies had stepped forward so as to be seen by the pony. Suddenly, a little voice rang out.
choose me, choose me.
But you're a guinea pig, Majesty replied to Soapy.
Yes, but my owner's not.
Don't choose them, Majesty, said Buttons. They're useless. Look at that guinea pig. He's always overexcited, racing around. But we're not talking about the guinea pig, Majesty said. We're talking about the pony. And the pony won't get us anywhere, said Melody. Why don't you choose me again? You got us a long way, didn't you? Majesty said. When you were chosen, you only got us a few footsteps away from Dream Valley. And I had to choose another pony. I think that Soapy and his owner should be given a chance. Perhaps they can lead us through this maze of tyres and wood. The animals reached the houses and saw a hole. They looked up and they saw this hole. They were underneath something. So they went through the hole and they were in a very dark place. They didn't know where they were. There was only a little bit of space. It was quite a wide space, but the roof of it was very low and Clover could hardly fit in. All of a sudden, they heard a loud noise. And when they looked down out of the hole, they saw that the road below them was moving.
We're in one of the 4 circle things. The 4 circle things, you know, Diesel. I think I know,
said Diesel.
And if I'm right, Desiree used to call them cars.
Right then, said Soapy.
So, we just follow this path, do we?
The ponies agreed.
Well then, what's the problem? Why do you think me and my owner are so terrible? We're better than a lot of ponies I could mention.
Soapy glanced at quite a few of the ponies.
First, we go through this tyre.
Soapy scrambled through, followed by Lancer and the rest of the ponies. Truly was now just behind. Once they were all through the tyre, they moved on to the next obstacle. A pool of water full of the black pony's pet crocodiles. There was a rope to swing across on. Soapy, would you believe it, grabbed on to the rope with his teeth and swung across with no problem. Because he was so small, he didn't even alert the crocodiles. But the first pony who went across would alert the crocodiles, and every pony afterwards would have a lot of trouble. One of the crocodiles had already put its long nose over the top of the water and was now staring at them. "Oh, go on, someone," said Majesty. "Someone's got to go first." "Well, it's not going to be me," said Buttons, looking at the crocodile. "The one who goes first will find it easiest to get over." Immediately, several of the ponies ran forward, all wanting to go over at once. "But," said Majesty, "we have to think of everybody else. So don't you four all try to go over together, or you really will alert the crocodiles, and then the others will find it harder to get over." Majesty went over first, followed by Melody, Starlight, Buttons and Ace, the 4 ponies who had stepped forward. Then the others crossed over, one by one, with the crocodiles snapping more and more. Soon it was just 2 creatures from Ponyland, Lancer and Dezarella. The only reason Dezarella had stayed behind and not gone in Truly's bag was that she didn't want a pony to be the last one across. She thought it was unfair. Since guinea pigs found it easier to get across because they were higher up, she thought that a guinea pig should have the last and worst journey. But now, the pony insisted that Dezarella went first. Luckily, both pony and guinea pig got over safely and went on to the next obstacle. Some green ropes with big holes in between them, big enough for a pony's leg to slip through, and the more they climbed over these green ropes, the higher they got, and if they put their hoof through it, the ponies didn't want to think about what would happen, so they just kept on walking along the green ropes, and nobody got hurt, surprisingly. The next obstacle was to get through some tyres. The more tyres you went through, the thinner they became, until the ponies could hardly get through. The last tyre was so thin that a few of the ponies actually got stuck and needed to be pushed by the ones behind. The ponies continued on this assault course. Some of the later obstacles included a very long tunnel, some swinging logs, and a seat on a string where the ponies had to swing across a cage full of the black ponies' hungry lions. But luckily, all of the ponies and their pets and every other creature from Ponyland arrived safely at the end of the assault course. They raced out the other end of the forest. It had been so dark in the forest all day that they hadn't noticed it really getting dark outside, but now the stars were shining and they decided to sleep. But before they slept, Soapy went a few footsteps on and saw that they were just a few hoof steps and paw steps away from the edge of Ponyland. The 4-circled car drew up, and the animals quickly leapt out of the hole.
This is it!
Cried Bubbles.
What?
Asked Dieselbell.
Don't you see?
Said Bubbles.
We've got where you wanted to go.
Dieselbell looked around. All she saw was big silver frames being pushed around by people. They were in the middle of some black road, which was in between lines of parked cars. But then she looked up and she saw 5 red letters. T-E-S-C-O.
Tesco!
Bubbles cried.
And that is a supermarket.
So the guinea pigs ran inside, so that
In the vegetable aisle,
Dieselbell could
sit, looking mouth-watering things.
The ponies spent the 7th of December checking that everything was in their bags. It was only at 11:20 that night that they started to walk towards the edge of Ponyland. As they reached the very edge, so that the pony at the front could have almost looked over the cloud, a tree stump appeared next to them with a golden light on it, and in the golden light was a tiny little pink stone. To find out what the pink stone had to do with the pony's adventure, please go to the second tape of Lanceriffic, the Christmas special.